Hello there, and welcome to the Glow Up Method, where we talk all things about life, where sometimes we're going through situations that feel like setbacks, but really they are setups for something even bigger and better. Hello! Hi there. My name is Natasha. I will be your host today. I am so excited that you're here with me. So I have a confession. I did not tape yesterday. Amongst everything that's going on, I got the flu. So I was at the doctor's, and the funny thing is, I was in such a, I had a meeting, it was a Zoom meeting, and then I was like, okay, I was like, I feel so terrible when I woke up because I barely had slept. I was up all night coughing and just feeling blah, flu-ish, right? What you imagine goes with the flu? That's what I was feeling. I was feeling all the chills, all the fever, like 50 blankets on top of me. And I was feeling like frustrated. I was like, really? Like, I don't have time to go down. And like, this is the week with my kids. Everybody's home. We were going to do board games. Even if they didn't know it, that's what we were going to do. We are going to do some board games. I was like, you guys want to go to the city? You guys want to do something? Like, we were going to do something. Mama doesn't have time. Plus, I got to do all my back end stuff to get all my little duckies in a row here. I didn't have time or getting the flu on the schedule. And to boot, like, I didn't get my flu shot last year, but I was healthy all year long, like healthy. It didn't matter who got what up in here. I didn't get anything. But suddenly I go and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go on a cruise. I'm going to get the flu shot. I'm going to get them all because I don't want to get whatever everybody says you get on the cruise. First off, I got a lung infection that I guess it probably happened in Mexico because like we were on this really dusty bus. Like it was the worst excursion ever, but I was so grateful to be on it, but like I was just like really like it was just blowing dust like straight into my lung. So I ended up getting like a lung infection. So I won't even say it. Like I actually stayed healthy beyond that. But yeah, I freaking tested positive for the flu. I'm like, I don't even think I've ever had the flu that I was aware of. So, anywho'sville, on the bright side, I do feel significantly better today. However, my son did not. So it was like, hey, deja vu. Now running him to the store, getting him the medications, all this stuff on top of like going to the store, taking one kid to a physical. I literally was at 3 different doctors. But like actually 4 different doctor's appointments today. Took one kid to a physical, took one to the urgent care, and then took 2 to physical therapy. So quite the day, and I was masked up. So don't worry, I wasn't going out there and infecting the world or anything because I was just like, listen. And I am like, what can I do, to make sure I'm not spreading it? And they just said wear a mask, and I was like, it's literally. It's not that big of a deal. So I just stuck it on to be, I don't want anybody, I don't want to be responsible for ruining anybody's Thanksgiving time or being part of the spread. So whatever. So I masked up, I went out, I did all that stuff and had a point, but it was this. Oh, I'm feeling much better today. So I'm very grateful for that. But like yesterday, I was like, I had this moment where I was like, oh, I am single. Like there is nobody that I can call and say, can you get me OJ? Like, can you go to the store and can you make me soup? There isn't anybody to call. I mean, I will say to my kid's testament, I asked for a cup of Airborne. My oldest son brought it up. I asked for a strawberry banana milkshake because that just sounded amazing and cold and refreshing. And my daughter turned up and did not disappoint. I asked one son to bring me up some Ritz crackers and cheese because I don't know, maybe my salt level was low because just suddenly Ritz crackers and cheese sounded good. And one I wanted to hug, but we just did an air hug because I was like, actually don't hug me at all. But I'm just actually like so grateful because yes, I may not have a partner to be like, hey, when I was like drudging yesterday like through the store to get the orange juice, I was like, I'm doing this thing. Like there isn't like, can you pick me up some orange juice on the way home? Like nah, that's just not there. So I did it. I got through it. It was again one of those kind of closure moments that, yeah, I didn't want to. I'm going to be honest. I wanted to lay in bed and do all those things. And I still have to mom, and I still had to be on the phone talking with multiple different people. And I just wanted to lay in bed and watch Survivor. And I never even got to turn the TV on. I literally just finally at like 10 o'clock was like, I'm out. I can't. And I slept a full good night, and I woke up and I was like, yes, okay, I'm able to navigate this day, whether it be the medications. It just went through my body. Like, I'm feeling much better, but I'm afraid that I'm doing too much today. So I'm hoping that it's not like gonna rebound or anything, but I'm gonna put into this world that I'm going to be fine and continue to make my pathwards to health, back to health. And be very super grateful that this isn't super long, because like I was wheezing, like I needed a breathing treatment in the office. Like yeah, like it was pretty bad yesterday. And I was going to get up and I was going to sit here in my robe and be like, see, even when you don't want to, but I just literally, I couldn't. I mean, my eyes were puffed, my face was swollen, like, beyond what, I don't care what I would look like. It was just like, I couldn't do it. So my apologies. But again, I lean on the fact that we have like probably now like 6 months, because vacations and things like that, of things like when I'm watching my videos and we're at Easter, and then I know there's some breaks. I know it happened in between. Well, not actually. Now you know too what's happened in between, but I got a little bit of a cushion, and I was like yesterday, like, yeah, no, you use that cushion. Still do, you know, I still had to get a video out and all those kind of things. I did not post a short. I was like, listen, it's okay. It's going to be okay. But I'm so excited because in the spirit of like Thanksgiving that's coming up, I am up to 80 subscribers. Like, it blows my mind. Like, September 8th, there was 0. And suddenly, here we are. It is November the 26th. And I have 80 subscribers. Like, 80 people were like, okay, sure, girl. I'll listen along. And whether they tune in or not, some comment, some don't. Like, I'm so freaking grateful. Like, that is huge to me. Like, I see people, like, in these, like, YouTube kind of, like, growth strategy kind of like things. I kind of read them. I don't really do much. I'm not that involved because I just don't have that much time. But like sometimes I pop in and I'll read them, and people are like, ugh, I'm not getting that many views. And they have more views than I have. And I'm like, be grateful for what you have. Like, it's so easy to compare, yeah, and be like, oh yeah, this video has 4.7 million views or whatever. Like, be grateful for what you have. And so today's episode, what I really, really had kind of connect with me today, and what was the thought process is, what's happened. Like, what happened. There is no answer. There is no reason beyond the fact that what happened. And that I have to trust, just as you have to trust, that everything is aligning and happening for our benefit. Like, the world is not conspiring against us. The universe is not conspiring against us. Like, on the contrary, it is working with us. It is happening for our benefit. So yeah, like right now, me personally, in my personal life, I'm under an extreme amount of pressure. I am struggling to kind of find my balance in my new normal, right? It's getting easier every day. And there's certain parts that like feel good. I mean, there's 2 photos on my fridge. One with Chris and I last, like Christmas. There was one of like everybody. It was like, you know, my sons, and then it was my son and his significant other, and my daughter and her significant other, and then Chris and I. Like, we did these whole gingerbread house like competition things, and Chris and I were on a team, and all the significant others were on the team. The single 2 guys were on the singles team, and like they're solos. They did their solo. And, you know, it was, I didn't take down that one, but there was this other photo, and there was this moment where, you know, he was saying whatever he was saying, doing whatever he was doing. And I was so upset. I literally pulled that picture off. I took the tape off, and then I just stuck it in a drawer. I didn't throw it away or anything like that. But I just was like, listen, if you don't want to be involved in this house, you don't want to help with anything here anymore, then I don't need to be looking at your face every day. And I felt bad because the kids are still here. Maybe they want to see their dad or, you know, whatever. But I needed to take it down for that time being. I may go back and put it up because, again, I I don't want to make them uncomfortable, but I didn't want to see his face in that moment. It was a big picture of his face, and I just didn't want to see it anymore. It was like, it was triggering me, it was irritating me, and it just felt good to like put them in a drawer. And and then later on I go upstairs to go get hangers, and it was like where his clothes had hung, and underneath there is our wedding album. And I was like, what the hell do we do with these things now? And so I know for me, like, perhaps my kids want to look at it one day, like, I'm not gonna just throw it away. But I was like, this is a great question for Google, because what the heck do you do with the wedding album now? Like, where does it go? And then I was like, oh shoot, I haven't worn a wedding, I can't even say it right now, wedding ring in years and years and years and years, for multiple reasons. And I'm like, what do I do with that thing? Like, I told my daughter she can have it, just take the stone and do whatever you want with the ring. But yeah, what do you do with all this stuff? Like, my wedding dress, like I told you on here, it was a $72 dress or $79, $70-something dress from Macy's that wasn't intended to be my wedding dress. It just ended up like, this was supposed to be an elopement. We were supposed to like have a real wedding, and then suddenly he had invited my whole family, and I didn't really want them all to be there, because if it was that, then I would have invited my friends, and I would have made it a whole thing. And I didn't even have a veil, and a veil was like always one of those things. My Barbies had veils, and so I really, really, really wanted a veil. It was something that was like really important in my envisioned mind of what a wedding was, and I didn't even have one of those. And so there was no like lifting the veil to like kiss the bride or anything like that. So again, it was what it was. And at some point I'm like, there's no need to remarry or spend more money onto this. Like, we have kids, we have other things, like, it's good. So I just am at a place where I am learning to say and trust the process, and trust that everything is happening. And yes, just like diamonds, right? Like, good things come out of the pressure, right? Without the pressure, it's just carbon. Like, it's not a diamond. And so, on the subject of diamonds, and I'm under a lot of pressure, but I'm also learning so much about me. I'm learning so much about my kids. Oh my gosh. And I am so grateful and thankful for their loyalty to their mama. Like, I'm not saying they're disloyal to their dad. That's a whole nother, that's them. I'm going to talk about my relationship with my kids. Like, I am so grateful that they are here and that they are loyal. And, the kid that doesn't even want to give hugs is giving me a hug. And, like, I am so grateful for the way that they're able to show up with, like, helping with meals, or helping with rides, or helping with, making lunch, or helping with just in general, helping with laundry, helping with the garbage, helping with the dishes. And the oddest part of it all is, beyond that, once we got past that first week, there hasn't been any complaints. There hasn't been any arguing about, why do I have to do this, and why am I doing this? And it's really like put this spotlight on, that's a lot like what their dad was constantly saying around here. Like, I don't want to do this. I didn't eat this dish. I didn't do this. Like, it was, his words became this megaphone out their mouths. And since he's been gone, there isn't arguments about who did the dishes or who didn't. We're what I always wanted. We are a team. If we go down there and we see something is in there, we put it away. If there's this, like, we are all helping one another in this unit. And yeah, some people may be pulling more weight. Like my daughter, she pulls way too much weight than she needs to. And I think part of it is a bunch of different circumstances involved in there, in that thing, and I appreciate it. As somebody who, obviously, I'm pulling a lot of weight, I'm pulling as much as I can here, and I think everybody's stepping up in their own certain ways, and I appreciate that so much. So, like, all I can say is this: I am not getting it perfect. There are days and times that in this, past month, that I have said something, or I have, just freaked out. And what I can say is I've learned tremendously from them, and from who I was just 3 weeks ago into now has just transformed so much. has come to so much acceptance and peace and understanding that things are not exactly as bad as I thought they would be. It's not quite as challenging without him. And in fact, there's a lot of moments where it's peaceful and it's calm and there's still laughter in this house and it's still clean and things are getting done and I appreciate that. Like, I think that that's beautiful. I always wanted this home to be filled with peace, love, and laughter. And of course, we're humans and we're having human experiences. And some days we come in and we're mad, and some days we're sad, and some days we're just there. You know, we're not something in particular. But if the majority of the time it's a respectful place, it's a peaceful place, that feels good. I enjoy coming into that energy, and I believe my kids do too. And the fact that they know what they know, and what they do know is their mom is there for them. I don't know what about their dad. I don't know what they know about, but what they know is their mom is there for them. When it doesn't matter if you're 24 years old and you get the flu, and I said, do you want me to just take you there, or do you want me to come in? He said, no, I want my mom to come in. You know, when you get sick, you want your mom, right? So I'm making him chicken noodle soup right now. I got the orange juice on go. I got all the medications, and here's when you take them, and here's the thing. Like, I'm there, and I'm there to support him and help him through that. Even though I'm not feeling well, I'm still making sure that he is taken care of. And that's what us moms do, right? Like, we come in and there's this inner thing. He's like, I don't know how, like, you're doing this, because like, I can't move. So I think about what you did yesterday when you're in your can't move spot and you had to. I said, hun, that's just resilience. Like, that is a mama bear's love. Like, when you guys were sick, or when I was sick, when you guys were little, there was no, let me just lay in bed and have mom come and give me a massage and, you know, give me medicine and, you know, make sure my blankies are clean and ready and fresh. Like, no, like, nobody's coming to save me right now. Like, I am here to save me. And if I want to sit here and say, why isn't somebody coming? How come nobody's coming? It's just going to create this space of suffering, right? Like, it just is what it is. Like, what has happened has happened. And what I have dealt with ever since then is what's happened. And I know, like, that first week, when it was that first 2 weeks, that first 3 weeks, when it was conflicting, right? Because the first thing he hits me with, right, is like, maybe should we reconcile? I need to know right now, and all this stuff. And I was like, well, let me just even read this email. And I'm flustered. It's like, it's all happening so fast. And I'm thinking about my kids, like, everything, you know, I say sometimes, like, things come into my mind and, like, it's like slow motion. Like, you know, if I have a memory of something that happens with the kids and it was really hard, like, in that moment, it was like when they're telling me in the doctor's office that something was wrong, like, it just kind of happens in slow motion. But yet you can't really speed it up or anything. I think for me, it just like, it's like, wait, what is happening? Like, it's like a real, like, slow motion. Whereas this was like, it was like fast motion. It was like sped up version. It was like, I need to know this. And I was like, hold on. And like, I started thinking about my kids, and I started thinking about money, and I started thinking about how happy I was, like, literally on the cruise. Like, I had people stopping me and they're like, you are just so happy. Like, you look really happy. And these people don't know me. Like, I go to the gym and they're like, you look really happy. And I'm like, yeah, I am. Like, I am really, really happy for the first time in my life. And that's where I was right before my life imploded, right? Like, I knew it was gonna implode. I was walking around with some landmines, and eventually one was gonna go off. Yeah, well, I just thought I'd be in control of when it went off. And if it wasn't in my control, I can control, and it would go off in the way I'd want. You know, I'd be able to keep my limbs and keep all my wits about me. And it didn't turn out to be exactly that way. And then you threw in this wild card of another woman, and that, like, brought up all these, like, other emotions that were to be unpacked. It was like, you know, like, I wanted it pretty. Like, you move out, you know, there's some space and time. We actually get, like, divorce paperwork or separation paperwork, you know, where, you know, anywho'svilles, what happened, right? So I have to trust that all this happened for a reason. And that, yeah, like I was saying, well, not yesterday, but the day before, is that it's a blessing in a way, because I have now had the space and time to process what that looks like when somebody that you're with for 25 plus years has now moved on. And had he just moved out, and we maintained a friendship, and it was so, you know, like, where was this person before? And it was just so not him, right? Like, it wasn't the person I knew as him. And it doesn't mean it can't be that person. Like, maybe he changed. And that's what I was thinking. I was like, finally, he changed. It took him to go, like, live at somebody's house and then get his own apartment, and then to realize how much we were worth fighting for. And I don't want to fight with you. I just want to work with you. Like, I want to be a team. Like, this is what it was. And like, here we were having this friendship and like laughing and joking. And I found myself wanting to text with him and wanting to talk with him and having nice conversations. And then I was really, really kind of reading into that. I mean, like I said, part of me was like, oh, here he's being nice. Here it's my turn to like come on in and yeah, open up my heart. I'll melt down all those bricks and everything like that. And that was part of the pattern, right? And until, you know, I felt really taken advantage of when I was sitting there worrying about him, because our conversation abruptly ended. He didn't say goodbye. He didn't say, you know, anything. We were talking about something and it just ended. It just stopped. And then I started panicking and worrying. And then I felt so, again, it wasn't him doing anything. It was me, that I was sitting here worrying about him, worrying about his well-being, worrying if he was okay, even though in my gut, I had a feeling like, after some time went by, I'm like, yeah, he's with somebody else. Like, there's no way he's not, you know, like he would have said something back at this point. Cause I was like, I'm really worried. Are you okay? Like, I was like, it's fine if you don't want to talk, just let me know. And he didn't answer. And so I think for me, that was the catalyst. That was like oh, I'm done then. Like, I'm done, because here I felt really like I didn't know the last he had told me is they weren't talking at this point and all this stuff. So I like had really, or limited talking. And so I had really felt just being boozled. I felt like extra betrayed. And then that's when the anger came out, because it was like, no, like, do not mistake my kindness for weakness. Like, I know, I see what you're doing here. You're making sure you're nice to me. And then started becoming really mean and aggressive to me afterwards, after he had went with her. Now he could scream at me on the phone, and now the real true colors can come out again. And I was like, listen, I'm out. Like, this is the pattern of toxicity that I have enabled, but I want out. So I have grown so much from this situation. And I guess I have to remind myself over and over that it's a process. And for me personally, going through each one of the stages and acknowledging, where am I at today? You know, like, and it has given me this strength. And there's moments that even in the turmoil that I'm like, I have to laugh. I'm like, I'm single. I got to do this. Like, I got to get my own OJ, you know, like, this is what it is. I got to make my own soup. Well, I always made my own soup, but like, you know, I got to get it into the bowl. You know, I might've made it before and been like, hey, can you bring it up? Or, you know, like, that is not happening anymore. And beyond, like I said, my kids were so sweet, because I was like, can you make me, I will pay you to make me I need this, and I cannot stand in that kitchen after everything I've done today, and make this. And so, you know, they are so sweet for showing up for me, and I really do appreciate that. Like, I cannot say thank you enough to them, about how kind they are. So what are you going through? Like, it could be, you know, a loss of something. It could be a loss of a job, a relationship, a friendship, you know, so many things. It could be loss in so many different ways. It could be your kids moving out and going to college, or, you know, having a challenging relationship with them. Like, things happen, right? And when we are so close to a situation and it's so fresh and it's so raw, we hold on to it so dearly. We see, again, like, in this, you know, very blinded, very narrow sense of the word. We don't expand our mind and see the big picture. It's just so hard for us to do that. It often takes, like, maybe a friend or somebody else, or some kind of revelation, some kind of, you know, bargaining and coming to terms with what's happening, for us to really step back. A lot of times it's a separation. A lot of times it is like physically stepping yourself out of your body, and it's really hard to do, right? Like it's getting yourself out of that little routine that feels really comfortable and safe and always works, to allow you to see that a whole different perspective. So that's why I love to go up to like the mountain, or I love to go someplace out in nature and really figure out like, hey, wait a minute, like look how small I am compared to the world. And this is only part of the world that I can physically see right now. Like I've traveled the world this year, and I've spent hours just looking out the window down at the ground day or night, just to make me realize how small I am. I'm so insignificant. Like in the scheme of life, I am insignificant. I am significant, of course. Like I have a purpose and all that, but like, so my problems are too, though. Like, to me, it may seem so world ending and life ending and catastrophic. But at the end of the day, every day since he's left, I've woke up. And every day since he's left, I've had food on the table for myself and my kids. And every day since he's left, I've had electricity on, and we've been able to move forward. Every day since then, I've laughed, I've cried, I've shared, if I haven't physically sat here and filmed, I sat there and I uploaded it. Like I was true to my commitments and myself. I have been very open and vulnerable to who I want to be, but I have also found strength in myself and knowing that I can persevere and do these things that are really hard and I didn't want to. And wasn't my plan or my instigating necessarily, but on the same turn, I know that this is all happening for a bigger and better purpose. Like I can see that today. I can see that there's going to be a time that if only as of 3 weeks ago, I can look back and say, oh my gosh, that, you know what, like, look how much you've grown since then. Like when I look back at my son's brain tumor, now it was around this time of year, he had his first like documented seizure on December the 4th. And, you know, prior to that, we've kind of unraveled. He probably had one or two other ones in other situations that we just weren't really versed on it because his seizures presented so abnormal for somebody who wasn't used to seeing seizures. And so, but gosh, if I look back on that time, and that was not that long ago, it was the worst thing that could ever happen. I mean, it was in the holidays. It was, one son was a senior in high school. Another was a sophomore in high school. One was, then I think was in 6th grade. One was in elementary school, was probably 4th grade then. Could have been 7th and 5th grade. I don't remember the exact for those two. Pretty sure it was 6th. I don't remember. I think it was 6th. But anyways, it was really tough. And it just, I can't even, like, tough isn't even the word to describe. Gut-wrenching, heartbreaking, like, shocking, like, everything you can imagine. And at that time, it seemed like the worst thing that could ever happen. But even in that situation, I grew tremendously. My son grew tremendously. His siblings grew tremendously. We learned that life is fragile. That what we wake up one day is not a guarantee we're going to go to sleep as that night or wake up the following next day. And what we learned was there is so much human kindness and compassion out there. And I'm just so grateful for all of those moments. He brings them up frequently about the moments that we would talk, the moments that we would pray, the moments that I was doing wacky stuff and make him go outside and, you know, feel the sun, like, and he laughs about it. But when he push comes to shove, that is immediately where they go back. If he's had any instances, it's immediately where he goes back. So yeah, those little seeds and those little times may have seemed a little weird at the time, but all in all, he really absorbed it and has helped him really get through some difficult situations in his life. And like I say, he has the coolest, like, chillest personality. Like, that experience changed him. I mean, he was always pretty chill. but he has a very, very unique perspective on life. And that's a beautiful thing to see. So I will never look at his brain tumor as something that was horrific and terrible. Like, I look at it like I look at it, the pandemic for me. Like, it was this thing that changed my life that was meant to be really disruptive and was in other people's situations or anything. But the way we reframed it, the way we took advantage of this perceived negative experience and really turned it into this gold mine is where the magic is. So whatever you're going through today or tomorrow or, have been through, realize that you're probably way better off because this thing happened. Like, if you think back to it, like maybe 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, you were going through something that was wrecking you, that was breaking you, that was just so difficult, and yet here you are now. And it just can change the way we perceive what is happening, and what, the way we look at it. It impacts how we view it, and it impacts how we move through it. So I say all this to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in. I really do hope that my stories have given you a little bit of nuggets of realization in your own life. And I appreciate you showing up and tuning in. I adore you. And I hope I'm at least 80 viewers by the time you watch this. And I am grateful for every single 81 of you. And if there's more or less, I'm grateful for whoever is here and whoever is tuning in. So thank you so much. Please go out there today, give somebody a big smile, give them a compliment, and just watch how they glow up. So thank you. Bye.